Welcome to the Startup Grind.
I'd like to welcome our entrepreneur, Miss Loulou.
Thank you.
Hello. All right. So, hello. Welcome to Oman.
Thank you.
Is this your
Great
first?
to be here, actually.
Is this your first time?
No, not my
No?
first. But
Alright.
I've been here a few times before.
Okay, this is first time entrepreneurially, I would say.
Yes.
All right. Very good. Very good. So over here, I have a couple of questions that I would ask our lovely guest. But in the end, I know for a fact that a lot of you would have questions for our awesome guest. So what I'd ask you to do is, first of all, use this hashtag for the conversation on social media. Make sure people know what they're missing, right? The second thing is note down the questions that you have. There's a lot of interesting ideas, a lot of interesting conversations that are going to happen. So make sure you do not miss a question that you want to ask. All right? So without further ado, we're going to start with the most basic question, which is, who is Loulou? Tell us more about her.
We'll start. First of all, thank you everybody for coming here and welcoming me in Muscat. Thanks a lot to Sherry, who's been doing a great job throughout the day. And it's really great to be here and to see like so many entrepreneurs. It's amazing actually. So great to be here and meet you all. Who is Loulou? Well, I'm an entrepreneur just like you, and started a company called Nabbesh.com 4 years ago. And Nabbesh.com is a freelancer marketplace. So we help companies connect with talent on demand. So whether you're looking to get like a new brand identity, whether you're looking to get a mobile app developed or get a document translated or any type of skills that can be done on a project basis, Nabbesh.com is the platform for it. Before that, I had been in Dubai for 13 years actually. So I worked in different places. I started off with financial services in Dubai, where I used to work with Daimler Chrysler Financial Services, which is the car company that does Mercedes, some of the lovely brands. I worked with them for 2 years, and then I kind of changed careers, and then I moved into marketing. So I did the complete shift from financial services to marketing, and I learned a lot in the process. And I worked with a real estate developer called Dubai Properties. I was a marketing manager for them. And after that, I worked in a venture capital company that was called ActiveM. And basically the job of this company was to help entrepreneurs such as yourself secure like growth funding, so secure money to grow and scale the business. And that was a great learning experience. And from that time, I decided that there were so many gaps if you look into the Arab world, and so much that can be done. So I decided to become an entrepreneur and start a business that would have an impact on the Arab world and could be scalable regionally. So that's basically my professional story. And I'm from Lebanon originally. And yes, that sums it up.
All right, thank you very much. Now, every entrepreneur starts a business because they feel, in a sense, that there's this missing thing in the market. There's this problem that needs a solution. So when did you start feeling this? Coming from a corporate background, when did you start feeling this drive that you want to fix a problem in society? And why did you decide to act on it? I mean, a lot of people feel that they want to do something good, but why did you decide to take action on it?
So one of like the best experiences that prepared me to this was working with this VC company, because I got the chance to work with a lot of entrepreneurs and see the excitement and the energy that entrepreneurs have, which you really can't find in the corporate world. When you have people that are so passionate about their ideas, that are taking risks and try to build businesses, against all odds. I mean, we all know the failure rates of startups. So when you meet these people, you kind of want to work with them. And I think working together with entrepreneurs for 2 years made me realize that, okay, I want to do something as well. I want to be, crazy like these people, and I want to take some risks and start something. So the experience of working with entrepreneurs before starting my business was very, very helpful for me to have the guts to say, okay, I want to start the business. And when I decided to leave my job, I didn't have an idea, by the way, in mind, because I knew that it's difficult to do something on the side. And if you really wanted to start a business and you're serious about it, you have to be dedicated to the business. Because if you're not fully convinced to leave your full-time job to start this business, then it's difficult for you to convince someone else that you're actually serious about it. So I decided to leave my job, and all I knew was that I wanted to do something that had a social impact. I wanted a business that can help people in a way or another. And while trying to figure out what this idea is, and before I had the light bulb, I started to go around and see if I could do some consulting to help companies, basically startups, grow their business, because I had 9 years of work experience at the time. I had experience in marketing, in finance, so I could be very useful to startups and young companies. So I started going around and asking like friends of mine and people in the entrepreneurial space if I could help them on a consulting basis. And this is how the concept of Nabbesh came about, because I thought that there must be a lot of people like me in the region that are educated, they have work experience, but don't want to work on a full-time basis. Either for cultural reasons, family commitments, or just really for the reason that they don't want to commit to a single employer and they want to have a choice. And this is how Nabbesh sort of started coming about, and I thought that this is a problem because even if you look globally, like there's a huge push towards self-employment, and people more and more, especially the young generation, they don't stick in the same job for 20 years like our parents used to do. So now you're in a job for 2 years or 3 years, and then you're looking for what's the next best thing. How am I gonna learn more? How am I gonna make more money? Or how am I gonna whatever your aspiration is. So I felt that there's a big need for what I'm doing, and I decided to act on it, and launched, just do it, and just started working on the project. Outsourced a lot of it initially, so I hired a lot of freelancers myself to build the first website and do like the brand and all of that stuff. And when you're in it, you're in it. And I think there's a lot of people that would say, build like this elaborate business plan and like spend so much time doing it. And to me, I just really looked at the business model, the Canvas book. I had a bit of ideas about obviously customers, what I want to do, who's the market, etc. And then just started. And as you're doing, you start validating like some of the theories that you had. I'll stop.
All right. Now, I believe you're a winner of the Entrepreneur 2012 TV show, right? Now, can you tell us more about how did starting Nabbesh and joining that TV show at least, and winning that competition affect your startup journey? And why did you decide to even start it like that,
Okay, I won $1 million dirhams, so that had a massive impact on my business. And it came at the right time because I was spending my own money to build Nabbesh, and it got to a point where I actually needed money, and I happened to come across a tweet by Do, which is the telecom operator that was doing the competition, and it says entrepreneur competition, and I thought, another one of those entrepreneur competitions. I wasn't excited at all, but there was something I got curious for some reason, so I clicked the link to see, okay, what is it all about? And I saw $1 million dirhams. I said, okay, well, I'm applying, you know. And yeah, I did not think at all that I would be in it, let alone win it actually. It was, you know, it was great. I got a call, I think maybe a month and a half later, saying, you know, you've been shortlisted. Send us a 2-minute video pitch, you know, for your company, and we'll let you know if you move on to the next stage. I was shocked, so I got my husband to get a camera. I have a beanbag in the house. I filmed 2 minutes, sent it. I really actually didn't think I would go through, and then just kept getting shortlisted and shortlisted until I won. So it was a great channel. Obviously the cash was great. I got a lot of PR, which is crucial for startups in the early days, because you don't have money to spend on marketing. So you need PR. You need to see your company's name in local magazines and TV stations. So I was featured everywhere actually, and it helped a lot in our growth in getting that story out. So I think the lesson that I learned from that is sometimes you need to go out of your comfort zone, because I don't like competitions. I definitely don't like to pitch in public in front of like a bunch of people and TV cameras. But it played out, you know, it played out so well. It was an amazing experience.
Great. So I want to get a bit technical right now. I want to talk about Nabbesh specifically. Can you tell me more about where did you start exactly in terms of?
At the beginning, the focus was on building the freelancer community, because I wanted to be in a position where when you go to companies and, you know, I tell them like, outsource your graphic design, and they ask me how many graphic designers you have, I wanted to be in a position to say, you know, we have 500 people or 1,000 people, etc. So at the beginning, we focused a lot on building the freelancer community. And we grew very fast. I don't remember the numbers like periodically, but we have 85,000 people today signed up on Nabbesh. And yeah, so we grew quite a lot, considering that actually it all came from organic growth and word of mouth. So we didn't make an investment in marketing, and in fact we just started investing in marketing now. So I was very happy with the growth, and at the moment we kind of pulled back on trying to grow freelancers, because we have so many, and my focus now is entirely on the jobs, on the clients, and building the demand for the freelancers. Company-wise, we've raised 2 rounds of funding since the entrepreneur. We have a team of 14 people at the moment. We're revenue generating. Obviously, we're not profitable as a company, but our objective today is to grow as much as possible. So yeah, very happy with the progress so far. Considering that, you know, when you're a first-time entrepreneur, you're going to make a lot of mistakes and do a lot of bad decisions. So considering all of that, I think we're in a good spot.
Now, you started the company with an aim of a social impact, correct? So how is Nabbesh doing that today? I know for a fact you have something with the Palestinian community and reaching out to that job market. So can you tell us more about that initiative specifically with Nabbesh?
So social impact, because at the end of the day we're helping job creation. So we're actually helping people find work and make money. And when you do that, you become more independent as a person. And I think it helps the community overall when you have different sources to make an income. So that was very important for me. And what keeps us going as a team is when we hear, you know, the great stories of people like, oh, I love Nabbesh, I found a job and it was so amazing, and really you feel that you're making a difference in people's lives versus, you know, selling them stuff or things like that. So that really excites me as a business. And we decided to take it a step further end of last year when we got approached by an NGO that is based in Qatar. It's called Silatec. And they wanted to help young people that have great skills. They wanted to help them find jobs. And Silatec normally works in countries where there is conflict. So Palestine, Iraq, Yemen. So they came to us and they said, okay, we have access to youth and talent, and you have a marketplace. So why don't we work together to provide jobs for people in Palestine? So we said, okay. So we hired some people in Gaza, a community manager. We did a lot of workshops for young people there. And the objective was to give them 300 paid jobs in the period of 3 months. We're at slightly above 80 jobs, so it's not where I'd like us to be. But we had a lot of challenges along the way. But we've just picked up a huge partner, actually, who's a big media company in the region. And we should make an announcement very soon about this partnership. And I think this is just going to take the project to another level. So I think it's a win-win, for everybody, because companies are able to hire these Palestinians, and their rates are much more affordable than for example, talent in Dubai. So the companies are winning by saving on costs. The freelancers are winning by making an income, and we're the marketplace.
Now, let's go a bit into the concept of entrepreneurship and freelancing. A fact that is known, a lot of freelancers somewhat turn their business once they're very successful. They develop their own startup, and they can grow, and they become their big company, which started as a freelancing journey. So how can someone who has an idea or has a service that they can provide utilize Nabbesh to actually become an entrepreneur and grow a company in the future?
I think, freelancing is maybe a first step into entrepreneurship, because when you're a freelancer, you're putting yourself out there. You're building a lot of skills that normally in a corporate job maybe you don't build. So, for example, if you're working in a big company or government, you do one set of you have a certain job, and that's what you do every day, and then you have other people doing different parts of the business. But when you're a freelancer, you learn how to market yourself. You learn how to negotiate rates with clients. You learn how to set and manage expectations with clients. You learn how to take risks. So it's the first step, I think, of becoming an entrepreneur. And a lot of freelancers, if they're very good at what they do, then they can hire 2 or 3 people with them, and then they can start offering that service on a much bigger level. So that's how you can benefit from something like Nabbesh, because it gives you access to deal flow, which is jobs. So if you're doing more and more jobs as a freelancer, and you start getting more demand, and people like your work, and on Nabbesh you can get ratings and reviews. So every time you complete a job, you will start building your profile. And obviously, someone with a lot of ratings can charge more money than someone with little ratings. So eventually, you can start growing and collaborating with other people. So, for example, let's say if you're a designer, you can maybe collaborate with a web developer, and you can offer like a web development service, which includes design and development, and you can maybe team up with a copywriter and deliver like a full service. So I think the opportunities are endless to what you can do.
Now, from what I heard and what I know about Nabbesh, the platform is quite sophisticated. Now, what I'll ask is, how different is Nabbesh now from the Nabbesh the idea that you had in your head back in the day? And how difficult was it for, in your head to kind of accept feedback from other people about your personal idea, and at the same time, allow changes happening from your team, from your peers, etc. So that's
it's different from what I had in mind from day one. But I think that's normal. That's very normal because you have an idea and then you start talking to different people and collecting feedback, and you end up tweaking that idea maybe and launching something slightly different. It's still in the same spirit of what I wanted to do, but maybe the product doesn't look exactly the way I wanted it. But I think it's very normal. How am I open to this?
No, how do you feel about, how did you feel when people were giving you ideas, and how did you feel when your team was also contributing in the building of the platform as well?
Yeah. It's, I'm very open to ideas, and the way we work with the Nabbesh team is that, and this is part of the promise, by the way, that I make to people that join Nabbesh, is that you are in a position to make decisions when it comes to your area of expertise. So I, for example, don't come from a technology background, so I have like great, amazing people on the technology side that make all the technology decisions, and they make those decisions. And I think, in the early days, the more empowered your team feels in making decisions, the more likely you are to succeed, because everyone's fully bought into the idea, and it's not Loulou like making orders and do this and do that. And at the end of the day, there's no point, because if I know everything, then I don't need a team. But you definitely don't know everything as an entrepreneur, and you definitely need people that are smarter than you in specific areas that can help you make it happen. And like I told the guys at SAS this morning, at the end of the day, investors, the first thing an investor would ask you when you go to raise money is like, who's your team? And how incentivized they are to stick with you when the times are bad. So going back to the decision making and ideas, it's always an open discussion with everybody. Everybody gets to pitch in ideas. The only thing is you need to just put a bit of a process around it. So sometimes ideas can be, like when you come up with an idea, you need to have thought as well about if it's doable or not. Because just throwing ideas out there is, sometimes it's good, but sometimes it could be very it's a waste of time. So when you suggest an idea, like make sure you've thought it through. And then come and present it to the team, and then the team can discuss it and can make a decision on it.
Now, democracy. Right. See, what I really like is the fact that it's an incredible growth over 4 years, and I really want to touch more on this kind of personal journey that you went through as an entrepreneur. So, if you could go back and if you could just give yourself one personal advice to when you started, what would that be?
I would say be very careful about the people that you choose to work with, because I think people can make or break your company. So if you have the right team, I think your chances to succeed are a lot higher. If you have the wrong team, even if you have the money, forget it, something happens. So I think be very careful with who you decide to work with, and even if you're desperate, in some cases for like a specific type of talent, just take your time before making these decisions, and set expectations from day one. So if you want to hire your number one or number two team members, make sure the roles are clear, make sure the expectations are matched, so that you avoid conflict, because down, it's going to trickle down on everybody. And it's, so we're still located in Dubai, so our office is in Dubai. In terms of markets, we obviously started in Dubai because, if you want to scale your business, you need to at least own your own market. So Dubai is a very sophisticated market. It's a very advanced market, and normally a lot of companies in the Middle East want to succeed in Dubai because it's a big proof of concept. Basically, when you're successful in Dubai, it's normally easier to sort of expand into the rest of the Middle East. So Dubai is, the UAE is our biggest market. And the second actually market that we're looking at is Saudi Arabia. And the reason is purely because of market size. So when you want to start scaling your business, you need to look at a big market for the business to make sense, especially as a technology business. Like I said, my objective is to grow as fast as possible, and to grow, you need a big market. So Saudi is definitely a market that we're looking at, and it's definitely very challenging because it's not the same as Dubai. So we have now launched Nabbesh in Arabic, for example, to cater for the Saudi market. I'm sure culturally there's a lot of differences between Saudi and Lebanon and Dubai and maybe Oman. So each market has some very unique, I think, characteristics. So we haven't experienced Saudi fully yet, and we're starting to get into that market. So we're yet to learn what's going to happen there. But just pick a big market and try to aim for that, because if you're too focused on a small market, then you may hurt your chances, because you're not going to have enough attractive numbers for people to come and invest in your company to grow.
How comfortable are corporates working with freelancers? I mean, who monitors freelancers? And they can come and go, and there's nobody to monitor their performance at work.
So the monitoring is the payment, really. So a freelancer normally gets paid at job delivery. Actually, I think hiring freelancers sometimes is even maybe safer than hiring a full-time person. The reason being is that it depends obviously on the person. This is not a general statement, but when you have someone on a full-time salary, they're going to earn that salary regardless of their performance. They could be okay, they could be average, and you would still keep them on board, and they would earn the salary. Whereas for a freelancer, they have to deliver, and they have to deliver a good job, otherwise you're not going to work with them again. So I think there's a big incentive for freelancers to do well, because A, you won't pay them if they don't do well, or you won't work with them again. And they have to build their reputation, because if you're happy with their work, you're going to tell your friend about them, and they're going to get access to more and more clients. So corporates do trust freelancers. Obviously, I'm not saying like you should outsource, your core business. So if you're a technology company, it's not a good idea to outsource your full tech team, because you want that IP in the company. But there's a lot of things that you can outsource. You can outsource marketing. You can outsource digital marketing, content. Again, maybe certain types of web development work. So there's a lot of things that you can outsource to freelancers.
So, in your 4-year journey, what was the hardest moment you faced, and what just broke you?
Hardest
cried,
moment?
yes. And what was your happiest moment?
I like that. Hardest moment was when we ran out of cash, and basically I had to make the decision whether to stay or shut down, and it was very tough, and because I was trying to raise money, and it took a lot longer than expected, and I had to be very honest with the team and say, look, no salary this month, and I'm working on raising money, and it could take a month too, or it could never happen, and it's your choice if you want to stick around or go find like another job. And they stuck around actually, and I paid everybody like 4 months later. So I think that was really hard, because every day you'd wake up thinking, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Let's shut down, forget it. And then you have obviously your team, and you're feeling bad, and you're thinking, okay, they're foregoing an income just to be with me and to build this thing, and yeah, that was really hard actually. That was very hard, and it teaches you a lot about the people that you're working with, about raising money and all of that. That was hard. Happiest moment? There's a lot of happy moments actually, because every time you have a small win, it's a win. So when you win a big client, it's like a happy moment. When we raised money, it's a happy moment. When I'm trying to hire someone who I really want to join us, and I was working on him for like 6 months, and finally he says, okay, I'm gonna join your team, like that's a happy moment. So there's a lot of happy moments actually.
So through this pain and pleasure, what are the lessons, if you say there's top 3 lessons learned, what would those be as something to share with those who are starting their journey along that path?
Well, there's a lot of pleasure and pain. That's the first thing for sure. I learned, I think, humility. I think Arabs in general are like proud. Like if you tell an Arab guy, if you give them a comment or girl, they're normally like, how dare you talk to me like this? There's a lot of ego. So you learn as an entrepreneur, huh?
Hot air.
Hot air, yeah, hot air. I like that, hot air. So as an entrepreneur, you learn to become very humble, because, and when I started Nabbesh, I was young, but not very young. I was 29, 30 at the time. So it's not easy for a 30-year-old with 9 years of work experience to go and sit in front of somebody and raise funds, and that somebody look at them and say like, what are you doing? This is not going to work, and this is bad and wrong, and kind of poke holes into the business that you've spent the past 6 months trying to build. It's a humbling experience actually, and you learn to listen and take some in and some just throw out the garbage, but it taught me a lot about patience and shut up, listen, take the feedback, and just keep going. And the third lesson I think is team. The people that, again, the people that were with me when we ran out of money, they could, if they felt like employees, and if they didn't feel incentivized, they wouldn't have stayed. So, and because they stayed, Nabbesh is still here today, and I owe it to them, because if they had left, we would have no company today. So they did. I love these guys actually for what they did. They mean a lot to me, and they're still with me. Those people, yeah.
I think there was a person there I can't see. What other question? Yeah.
Mike, I just wanted to ask you, as a woman, how was your entrepreneurship journey? Did you face any challenges specifically because you're a woman, and which you succeeded?
Actually, I think it's a positive thing in a way, because every time I want to meet somebody, they meet me. It definitely opens doors. It's hard, I think, if you want to start a family, and this is, I think, when it becomes challenging, because it takes so much of your time, and you think, okay, starting a family as well takes a lot of a woman's time, and you have to take a decision basically of when is the right time to start a family, and how much time can you if your company is in a position where you can step back a little bit and start a family. I think from a I don't see any difference between entrepreneur man and entrepreneur woman because it's difficult anyway. But the only challenge as a woman is, again, if you want to start a family, I think it's tough. But people do it. I have a good friend of mine. She's a very successful entrepreneur. She has 2 kids. She does it. She has a driver, 2 maids, and so on. But she's doing it, and she works much more than I do. She's a complete workaholic. So it works, but it's tough.
So we have room for one last question, Mr. Rashid.
Yeah, I'm trying to relate to the challenges in mind. Some of us are in the traditional business where we require a lot of permits, a lot of approvals, a lot of paperwork, where you literally cross borders and countries and you don't need the permits, you don't need visas, you don't need, you can hire someone from any country. So can you talk about the flexibility of the business versus outreach?
Well, I'm basically what they call an asset-light business. So I can operate anywhere pretty much. We don't need we don't need to have inventory, for example, like e-commerce businesses. I don't need to care about shipping and delivery and all of these things. It's a different kind of business, and it's different than you guys. I mean, I feel for you because I know that the Arab world is very bureaucratic, and to get permits and licenses it could take. It's a problem. I don't know how you go around it, but I'm sure it takes a lot of your time. Basically.
Just to follow up on that question, do you get a lot of jobs from the government?
We do actually. We do. We get jobs from the government. Dubai. Yeah. And now we're trying to work closely with the team that is working on Dubai Expo 2020, which is this big thing happening in Dubai. So they're open actually to work with entrepreneurs, the government.
Are you planning to come to Oman? Have a branch in Oman?
We welcome everybody. So please, I would ask everybody
Any
in the room
entrepreneur would like to join.
Please do. I mean, check it out, nabbesh.com. It's free to sign up. You can either sign up as a freelancer if you're a service provider, or if you're looking to hire talent. Definitely check it out. There's nothing to lose. So we're open to everybody to come, and I would love to. This is my first time here on business, and I'd love to be able to come back again soon, and hopefully meet some of you with bigger, more successful companies, and listen to your challenges and see what it's like.
Thank you very much. So thank you very much. We can give Loulou a big round of applause. Was this kind of the best one out of the 3 startup rounds?
Absolutely.
Yeah? There you go. Alright, so we've won. Alright. Now, to conclude our lovely event, I'd just like to share something about Startup Oman and what we do. And we take a lot of pride and excitement, specifically when we host these type of events. Something that we really believe in in our team is that those who tell the stories rule the world. We believe storytelling can really bring a lot of impact to entrepreneurship in Oman. So what I want to do today is, what I want to kind of enable the audience as well, is to share a bit of their story about tonight. So what I got 2 white canvas, the ones that artists draw on. Okay. I brought, actually the lounge got us some nice colored pens. And what I'd like us to do is, if you can just answer this question and sign your name on that canvas with your preference of color. Now, the idea behind this is that what we want to create is, by the end of the year, we want to have 12 canvases or even 24 canvases of stories from people like you who have experienced storytelling and the power of impact it can have on you as an entrepreneur or someone who's interested in entrepreneurship. Now, obviously, we'll reward you. There's going to be a plate of food next to the campus, so you can also enjoy that. And on behalf of everyone at Startup Oman, we'd like to thank you so much for attending today. We'd like to extend an invite for you to join our virtual community, مع مجتمع. I believe the banner is over there. Ask us about it. It's Facebook for entrepreneurs, for Omanis. So please join us there for more events as well about what we do and more community meetups like this. Thank you very much, everyone.